morning. It's Viewpoint. Wednesday morning again, 8:15. And very happy to look to my right and see the senior partner of Viewpoint with us back this morning. Did you enjoy the sunshine?
What is this seniority thing now? Is it an age thing?
Well, not in this case.
Yeah, we had a good time. We went down to Arkansas and had a really good time. Oh, he says the phone is ringing, James.
Oh, the phone is ringing already. All right. Well, we have a phone call coming in. We're expecting a phone call, and we will go right back to our program as soon as we get... All righty.
Hang on just a second, please.
All right.
Oh, I'm not ready yet.
Okay, we're not quite ready, Mr.
But
the engineer's a busy guy here.
So tell the nice people who it is that's
The engineer's
coming.
really a busy guy. We have Larry Crawford, Pastor Larry Crawford, Open Arms Christian Fellowship, on the air now. I believe. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Bill. How are you? Good morning, Judy.
Hi there.
Yes, Larry, we're glad to have you call in. I want to talk to you a little bit about, number one, where are you located, sir? Where is your church located?
It is located on 311 Broadway in Lincoln.
I think I know something about that building, yes.
I think you know that location.
Yes, I do. Well, in any event, you called in this morning. You have a very, very important family fun day coming up here this very Saturday, and you wanted to talk a little bit about that. And I also wanted to mention your bread program. But let's go right ahead and talk about your family fun day, Larry.
Yes, sir. That is this Saturday. Registration actually will begin at 10 a.m. The event is from 11 to 9, and it is in Scully Park, and everything is absolutely free.
I just can't imagine how you managed to do that, Larry. That's got to not be a cheap proposition.
No, it's not cheap, but the people of Lincoln and Central Illinois are well worth it. We know that we are living in some tough economic times, and we wanted to offer, this is our third annual one, we wanted to offer something for families and individuals to be able to come together and have a great day of fun at no expense and no worry about what it was going to cost.
That is so decent. I applaud you.
There's an awful lot of preliminary work that goes into this, just arranging for the slides and all the extra things that you bring onto the site. That's a big job, Larry.
It is a big job. It really applause, really goes out to the Lord and all the people of the church. So many just precious people that have volunteered countless hours, and then also will be out there all day Saturday working as well. But also we have over 100 area businesses that have given some type of donation, many of them in the forms of gift certificates and things that will be given away during the event as well.
Yes, and free food. Have you gotten into that part yet?
Yeah, we've got free food. We've got hot dogs. Last year, we gave away, I believe, if I remember correctly, about 1,800 hot dogs. We are anticipating 3,000 plus this year.
Oh, gracious.
That's a lot of hot dogs, a lot of ketchup, a lot of mustard. We also have snow cones. We have ices. We have cotton candy. We have popcorn. And we've got a live food bank that we're giving away bread and food to those as well who are in need and would like to receive that.
I'd like to digress just a quick minute about this food, the giving away of bread. You've been doing that for some time. What's your modus operandi on that, Larry?
Well, the Lord just really opened the door for us. We've got vendors and that have given us bread, and we've almost had it on a weekly basis, and have given away really, I don't know the number, but, we were saying thousands. We might even be up to beyond that now. Loaves of bread, and we're able to take that out and give it to different parts of the community. We've gone door to door. We've gone into different housing places, but also we're going to be giving it out at the Family Fun Day as well. And so this is something that's really been able to help a lot of people out in the community.
One of the features that you have is going to be this dunk tank. And how did you talk the state's attorney into participating in that? That's an office that we think of as being, kind of a higher up the food chain, and kind of a straight and stayed type outfit, and here you got him going into a dunk tank.
Well, he has graciously accepted, and my secretary actually set that up, but he's got a lot of people that I think will enjoy the opportunity to be able to dunk him, and and all in good fun. And
sure.
We're just really blessed to have Mike McIntosh coming and joining us, and there'll be other people there as well throughout the day. But it's just great that he's able to get back into the community like that and be a part of that, and just have a great day of fun.
I can think of some folks who might have appeared before him that would have great glee in dropping him in the water.
I think we might have a line now. I know he's going to be in the dunk tank from 11 to 12, so I'm sure there'll probably be a pretty good-sized line during that time.
And you have other people lined up to get dropped in the water, I presume?
Yeah, we do. We actually have a couple of the ladies, the cosmetologists from Daisy's are going to be in there. We've got folks from the church that are going to be in there. And so all day from 11 until 6 p.m., which is when the games will be open and the food will be open and all that, there'll be someone in the dunk tank during that whole time.
Well, I'd volunteer my wife, but we're going to be out of town to a wedding up in Rock Island, so I can't volunteer her. But maybe I can get a substitute.
I was thinking if we got you in there might be a few people that, just might want to come and throw a ball and dunk you.
I can think hordes of people might want to drop me in that water. Lots of them.
Don't be afraid, Bill. I got your back.
You don't. You can't be in business for about 60 years. Not somebody want to drop you in the water. Deep six you.
Well, I know my granddaughter was talking about this. We took a little vacation, and she's going to be a high schooler this year. And she was looking forward to the Family Fun Day. She'd heard about it from her friends and seen your flyers, and was greatly looking forward to it. So it looks like she's going to have a good time.
She will have a good time. And, here's the thing, Judy and Bill, there's fun for all ages. We'll have a big tent so you can get out, from under, the sun. And also there's going to be bands playing all day. Some local, Leslie Bennett, One Day Closer, Look Up, Red Letter Road. We're going to have the police canine unit there. We're going to have the fire department there. And then we're going to have, at the end of the day, we've got our main event is going to be a man by the name of Jason Quellhurst, who is a bodybuilder, and he has got a Mighty Warrior program, and he is going to do great feats of strength. He'll be breaking blocks. He'll be blowing up a hot water bottle, busting it. I mean, just all types of things. This guy... He's going to do some weights as well. He's not going to bring his squat bench with him, but this guy can literally squat 1,000 pounds.
Wow.
Well, Larry, we are very, very happy to be able to talk about this Family Fun Day this Saturday, starting at 11 o'clock at the Scully Park. You folks do a great job in getting that organized and set up. I was on the grounds a year ago and was totally impressed by what was going on there. My compliments, our compliments to everybody in your church who worked so hard. See, this is a success.
Well, thank you very much. And we want to just, again, encourage everybody to come out from all the surrounding areas. We have people come from all different cities. We want to encourage you to come out. And it is from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Now, we do have registration opening up early at 10. Last year we had huge lines, and so we want to give you an opportunity to get registered so you can immediately enjoy all we got big blow-up obstacle courses. We've got them for adults, we've got them for teens, and we've got them for the younger children as well. And so there'll be stuff going on all day long. And so come on out. If you have any questions, or we can answer, get any more information for you, you can call the church office. If I could give that number, if that would be okay?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, and that number, of course, the area code's 217-732-4800. Again, 217-732-4800. That's this Saturday, Scully Park in Lincoln. Registration begins at 10. Everything opens up at 11, and we'll be there till 9 or probably even beyond that.
Okay, Pastor Larry Crawford, Open Arms Christian Fellowship, 311 Broadway. That group is having a big day this next Saturday. We appreciate, Larry, your calling in. We wish you all success in the world.
Thank you, Bill and Judy, and you guys have an awesome day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Please.
Yeah. All right, we've had a nice call from Larry Crawford,
nice man.
And they work really hard. And now we want to get to our guest of the day here, David Lanterman. Always we try to start a kudo or two on Viewpoint, David. Number one, Mrs. Busby, I need to correct a kudo from last week. I said David Hanger that was helping Norm Newhouse. I have to correct that.
David Hanger's helping Susie.
Yes, that's right. His son Troy Hanger, he and Norm Newhouse do that great work. And another kudo, real quickly. I went to a visitation for Bert Hill, tragically killed in a bicycle car accident. And Bert was a former Logan County corrections officer, and they had a kind of a neat honor guard there, which I thought was kind of nice. The gentlemen all done up in nice uniforms and so forth. It was a nice touch. Well, welcome to David Lanterman, neighbor of ours.
Yeah, as a matter of fact. Gosh, we just keep plucking out of the neighborhood, it seems. Because Jim, too, is right there, aren't you, boss?
First and foremost, of a somber note, David lost a dear family member. See where Margaret Lanterman died last night, David? Or yesterday?
Yesterday morning, yes.
Well, it's a great loss for Elkhart and for Logan County.
Yes, thank you.
Margaret Lanterman was just an icon and a delightful lady, and we doff our hats to Margaret, certainly. Now let's get into David Lanterman's entrepreneurship and what he's doing. Oh, you're in the cat house. I meant to tell you about that. We'll have that go on several times.
My puppy dog's out in the car. If I didn't know that, I would have brought him in today.
They could have just played together.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing that most, maybe not to him, but I think to the community, that David has recently embarked upon is the stewardship and ownership of the Lincoln Theater.
Yes.
A major thing for this little small community. I've been there, and Judy K, I'll give it 3 C's.
3 C's.
Well, actually, that amounts to 3 A pluses for David. I found it clean, colorful, and comfortable.
Great.
It's a delight to walk in there. There's a whole change. Of course, we start with a marquee. Let's take it from the top, David. You want to talk about what inspired you to this ownership, and which is that's a big stretch. That's
for a computer guru.
Yeah, well, it's a form of entertainment that faces a whole lot of competition today, and at the same time, small communities need these nice little movie houses, and David has seen an opportunity there. Hopefully, there will be a great opportunity, and he's done a great job in getting that thing changed around.
Right. Well, I basically, besides, I do computer IT work. I've done that for 30 years, but I've been involved in downtown Lincoln.
You must have been 4 when you started.
No, not quite, but my mother and I have had Beans and Such for 20 years, which to me is very surprising.
Unique spot, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much. And then originally, my sister and I had the Corner Cakery, which, that's been closed for 16 years, and I still get people asking about it all the time, but that's kind of entertaining.
Well, not only did you have good things there, I'm interested in your saying that it was 16 years ago, because I didn't realize that. That was kind of your first foray into this.
Yes,
this
it was our very
jungle,
first.
wasn't it?
I was pretty young. Learned a lot of lessons with my sister and I there.
Well, you made it so beautiful, so I'm not surprised that you've done the same thing at the theater.
You.
It was so pretty, and your things weren't too bad either, by the way.
Yes, my sister is quite a baker. Yes.
Is that the girl that was the baker?
Yes, that's my sister,
You
Cindy.
can't take credit for that.
No, I did a few things, but she was the heart of that.
You put frosting on cupcakes or something?
I could make the frosting, yes.
Well, that was
yes. I followed the recipe, yes.
Well, that was a niche that Lincoln kind of enjoyed.
Another thing that was needed at the time, a real custom bakery, we didn't have it.
No.
So at that time, we didn't have anything like that.
How did you, as a computer man, what made you think to go into the Corner Cakery and then Beans and Such, and now on into these other interests?
He's a young entrepreneur. That's why.
I just enjoy all the challenges of it. I'm a designer at heart. Really, which a lot of the computer work is how to design something to solve a problem.
Sure.
And my sister wanted to be a baker, so I was okay. I liked that. But the part of setting up the business, setting up the building, and how the presentation was going to work, that was a design thing, which I loved. And Beans and Such, my mother was also looking for something. My mother and I own Beans and Such together, so she was looking for another outlet. So that kind of also, I just said, well, I like the design part of it. How do we, put the store together? How do we make it look, present it? And then,
you did it, I'll tell you.
Thank you. And then, but once you get involved in retail, it's, I just like the people side of that also. I'm very much a people person, so it's great to learn who your customers are. When then they come in, they know your name, you know their name, which is quite appreciated by people today. It's not like walking into the mall and you walk up and you might get a smile and thank you and that's it. So we do definitely know we have long-term customers, and I like that side of it. Really, when I got in with the theater, after choosing to, I lived in Springfield when we actually did the bakery and beans and such originally. I was working in Springfield and living in Springfield, and then in '98 moved back into Lincoln. So getting involved in the community even more actively, just as it affected with the theater project, I just noticed that the theater was definitely on a slow downward slide.
Yes,
it was just, and it was disappointing. I think for a lot of people, over time, they were just not coming back. You know, there were still people that would come in, but in general, it was just a slow slide down. Corporately owned, and they were not investing any money back in it, just taking the money out of the community. You know, and I felt that what would happen, as has happened to many communities around of our size or even a little bit small that do have theaters, they just get boarded up. And then they walk away and they can't be used, and they slowly deteriorate and often just torn down. And that was something I didn't want to see happen.
It happened once in Lincoln.
Well,
There was another theater.
well, there were
too.
4 theaters at one time. You know, if you
4.
yeah,
Yeah.
a long time ago. Not that I remember that, but I've done a little research on it once you got involved in it. So it's
Sure.
pretty interesting. So I just felt that if you're going to look at it, as I started to put the ideas together, I didn't want to wait until it's boarded up and then get it for nothing, and then have to start from scratch. So we really started approaching the corporate Carmike, and that was kind of hard to get them to listen to little old me making a phone call, and they're the 4th largest chain in the nation, and so it took a year for them to really even listen.
Well, big as they were, I suppose you were kind of like swatting at a mosquito, just
pretty
kind
much,
of bothering
yeah.
them.
But it worked out, and so we got the deal done back in January. We actually closed the deal on January 2nd, and we were closed a few days while they took all of their stuff out and got everything cleaned out and kind of gutted out. But we were able to only be down for about 10 days, and then we started back up. And it was a very good, we were able to have a business that basically was turnkey in that sense. We had staff there, and, so it wasn't that difficult to kind of get going again. But it really took quite a while to, it takes a while to get people to realize you've made the change, to get it out, the word that you are making changes, to get the public to give you another chance,
Right.
Because not everybody's just going to, they weren't just waiting, I think they were waiting in the bigger sense, but they weren't just standing at the door waiting, So, we knew we had to make changes, and it's taking... pretty much wrapping up where we're at with changes
Well,
right now.
you say that they took their things out, and then you took over. Now, what would their things amount to? Did you know that they were going to take the this and the that?
Yeah, we had
and so
an
you
agreement. We knew what was going to happen.
So you had a replacement on hand then?
Yeah, that theater, Carmike, was a digital... they had promoted themselves as an all-digital movie chain, which is the digital is the very new technology, digital projectors. They had put that into Lincoln. Probably it wasn't cost-effective for them, but they wanted to say that they were a chain that was all digital. It didn't really make sense in Lincoln monetarily. That it affected their bottom line quite a bit if you just look at Lincoln. So when we made the purchase, part of the deal was not to keep the digital. It couldn't afford it. It wouldn't work. What happened when they had put the digital projectors in, they had moved the 35 millimeter film projectors into the corners. They were all sitting there. And
workable.
And, yes, and had been working, but they had just... So what happened is those digital projectors came out, we slid the 35 millimeter back in place, got them all set up again, and went forward with that.
Now, to for instance, Jim, Bill, and me, what difference would we notice between it having been digital and now it being with the machine from the corner?
The picture quality is You can make 35 millimeter have a very good picture. It is a little different. I would say if you're a real connoisseur and a real expert, and you put them side by side, if you watch them side by side, you'll say that's a digital one. This is not.
There won't be 2 people out of 100 could do that.
Yeah, pretty much it's true, and it's mostly just a technology change. That's what's going on right now. And digital actually is a better system for a very large screen, a huge screen. Our screens are not they're medium sized. So, but it's really the technology that's changing. Film production is not going to happen anymore. They're not going to put movies on film any longer. Everything will become digital. So we will have to do this change also. It's just like your flat screen TVs right now. If you think of flat screen TVs 7 years ago being a $5,000 TV and you can get it for $1,000 today.
Yeah.
Well, digital projection in a movie theater is the same thing. It's still very expensive. But those prices have come down, or continuing to come down all the time. So it'll be soon enough that we will get into digital ourselves and do that.
It's kind of like my very fine camera. I can't even get film for it. You have to have a digital camera.
Right. It is just a whole paradigm shift that it just will not be there anymore.
But that wouldn't scare you. You're a techie.
Well, I knew it was coming. Yeah, it's basically technology that I understand exactly what's going on. It's just it's just hitting that industry now, and it's just a big change for them. And how you get your the films right now, they come in the middle of the night in a truck that pulls up, and they drop off these big canisters with film in it, and that's how it is, and that's how it had always been. And the way it will be when it's digital is you won't even see it because there's a satellite dish on top of the theater, and they just beam it in by satellite, and you have basically a computer, a large server with a lot of hard drive space, and it just loads up right there for you.
And the poor truck driver doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Poor truck driver will be out of a job.
Excuse me, please. I'm sorry. I wanted to talk about the booking of movies and so forth. But first, Judith Kay and Jim, I want to comment. I was a little disappointed, David, to not see a memorial plaque somewhere. The geezer first trod the boards at the Lincoln Theater.
No. Really?
Eons ago, when I was a little fellow in short pants, got short pants on today, but a lot older, they had a community production of some sort, and in the process thereof, they had an Our Gang comedy. Do you remember the Our Gang? No, I don't.
Sorry.
I'm a kid, doesn't remember anything. No, sure.
I do remember it when it was a single screen. I mean, that's how I grew up with it.
Well, Hollywood had these shorts in those days. They would have short productions and travelogues and the Pathé News and all that. Mm-hmm. And the Our Gang comedy group, they had short movies. And so somehow in the production, I haven't any idea what this was, but myself and some of my contemporaries who were around 5, 6, and 7 at that time appeared on the stage at the Lincoln Theater. And I'm sorry you don't have a memorial plaque. Correct that, if you will, please.
He'll take care of that, won't he?
Yes.
The booking of movies, that's probably a pretty complicated process. And how much ahead do you have to... For instance, you've got a big production now with the Harry Potter bit.
That'll be a huge deal. Sure. The booking actually is a service that I buy. So I have a gentleman that actually does booking for a number of theaters across the country, and I got connected with him because he does the booking for the Avon Theater in downtown Decatur, another independent theater.
Okay.
So we got hooked up, and he actually does our booking. He has all the relationships with the studios. So he plans out probably two months in advance. And then, but we work with each other because he's learning what plays well in Lincoln, and so there's a lot of you have to kind of understand each individual market. So he's actually very good. I've had lots of comments of people that come in that really do appreciate the selection that we are playing now, because typically we have 4 screens. We're playing the top 4 movie, and that was not the case in the past. The decisions were being made in Georgia by Carmike, and they just kind of, tossed whatever. Yeah, that's what Lincoln gets, and they would play 4 or 5 weeks. Well, in Lincoln, we're small enough that 3 weeks is a long run. A big movie can run for 3 weeks, but 2 is typical. That also means we have a lot more work to do. A lot of turnaround. So with the movies,
But it's wonderful for us that we don't have to wait till next year when we see a promo for a new movie to see it here.
Yeah. So we're getting, premieres, everything,
Yes.
that day. Harry Potter, which is going to be huge, is the formal opening is on Friday, so we are going to do our this Friday. Yes, this Friday. So Thursday night, we're doing a special, which is an old-fashioned double feature. So you will get this. The current one that's coming out is part 2. It's the last one of the entire series, and the last book was divided into 2 sections. So part 1 played in the fall last year, and this part 2 is the last half of the last book and the very last one in the entire series. So we're bringing back part 1. And then that'll play at 9:15, and then you will get to see the new one at midnight. So it's a double feature. You get 2 movies for $12, and it's limited seating. We only have 300 seats, and it will sell out. So we're doing advanced sales there at the box office. So if you want to come in and get your tickets, you have to come get them right now.
Say, speaking of seating, I want to digress just a minute. I want to get back to the booking and so forth. But the seating. You spent some money there, young fella.
Yes.
And it certainly feels like it.
Right. The front 2 houses, which were actually the old seating that when it was still a single screen, those were seats they had been replaced at one time, so they were not when you were a youngster. That they were not of that vintage, but they were probably a 50-year-old seat, not original to Lincoln Theater, but we replaced those in March, so that was about 300 new seats, and it made a huge difference. It really just needed to be done. The old blue seats, they were pretty sad, but it was it's a pretty expensive deal.
Yes,
to
it
do.
had to be, and very comfortable, very nice.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you.
And so complex. I really like almost envy you, because that's so brave. How did you know to go to this man who sets up for Decatur? How did you know they were an independent? How did you know the truck was going to come and bring the movies?
Well, I actually had taken the time to meet with
Skip.
His name's Skip Houston, that runs the Avon in Decatur. So, I researched it. Was looking for an independent, and just kind of happened to know. I don't even remember exactly how I found the Avon out there. I don't remember. I had never been there. But I did go over, watched his operation. We talked about it, and so I tried to learn.
He kind of like mentored you for a little
bit. Yeah, he did. He gave me quite a few pointers, which was very helpful.
Well, the local folks can really should give you a big nod of appreciation for your interest in restoring this. As I say, in today's times, that's a pretty tough business to be in. It's very competitive against. The good thing about it is, though, that day in and day out, television isn't worth very much, except for some very special programs. So, but that's your big competition.
But the theater really, I don't know if it's so much competition. I think the general economics are sort of part of the competition. People want to have an entertainment. They want to be entertained. So the movie's important. Yes, you could see it at home if you want to wait, but the excitement of going out and doing something, where you make an event out of it, and that's why a lot of people still go to the movies. Now, some people just say, I just like it. They just like the feel of being in front of the big screen, which that's what I like. But a family that's going to go out, let's do something. They want to get out of the house. They want to be entertained. So that's part of going to the movies still. And one of the main reasons I got the theater. I live in Lincoln. I wanted to succeed. I'm not planning to go anywhere.
That's good.
So, I looked at it, and if you get a couple that may be choosing to relocate to Lincoln, and if they go through a list of, and you can get that from the Chamber of Commerce, here's what Lincoln has to offer, and if they go through, they got that, they got that, and if the missus says, but where's the movie theater? I can't see a movie in that town, I can promise you there'll be people that won't move there. Not everybody, but there'll be some people that wouldn't move here because of the fact if we didn't have a theater. So that was one of the main reasons as a community I wanted us to have that.
Yeah.
How about the young people? I go back again to Gabby, who's going to go into high school this year. I know when my brother and I were young, we used to walk a few miles to go to the Robin Theater every Saturday of the known world to see a show. It was just very important to us. And we did have TV. It wasn't a very big screen, but we did have TV at home, so it wasn't that. Well, there wasn't much on, actually, now that I think of it. But at any rate, we used to really look forward to Saturday and walking up to the movie. Do the kids still go en masse or not?
Yeah, we actually still get quite a good slice through, Lincoln of people. Young kids, high school kids, they'll come in to see the movies. A lot of families, a lot of older senior citizens come to see the movies. They're all motivated in different ways of, what they like to do, and a lot of it is, the cost of going out of town. It's very expensive. Well, number one, gas is, up and down, but in general, it's still expensive to go out of town.
Yeah.
Ticket prices, if you want to go down to Springfield, it's $10, and we're $6.50 for adults.
Yeah.
So you take a family of four, and you're going to spend, $50, $60, and you can spend $40 and get everything pretty much for a family. So it really saves you a lot of money to stay local.
Well, and why drive to Springfield to see that show when it's here? That doesn't make much sense, does it?
I think what you find, a lot of people are not doing the drive just to see a movie. If that's all they're going to do, they're going to stay in town. Not always. I mean, we know people. We all walk out of this county once in a while, so I understand that. I don't ever hold that against people, But I think a lot of times what happens is if they head out, it's a maybe they're going to spend an entire day. They might toss a movie into their day out of town. But when people are just saying, let's go to see a movie, I really have found now they're really starting to choose to stay here in Lincoln again because we've made the improvements. It's clean. It's everything is
Clean,
turned
colorful,
around.
and comfortable.
I mean, we have an old theater to work with, so there are some limitations, but we've really tried to make the experience enjoyable.
I want to talk about marketing just a minute, but first we're going to take just a little short commercial break to talk about some marketing.